Which native tribes lived in longhouses?
Excellent choice. Northeast is the right answer.
Which of these are not a primary source? Great thinking. Biographies is the right choice. Who is the greatest teacher in the world?
Good thinking. Miranda is the right answer.
In which region did Rani Durgawati rule? Perfect. Gada Katanga is the correct choice. Where did the Nootka and the Maka live?
Right again. Northwest is a valid answer.
Which tribe had a central council house?
Sharp thinking. Tiqueta is the right choice.
Honai is the traditional house from Dash. Well reasoned. Papua is the correct choice. Native Americans used dash of the animal.
Good job. Your answer every part works well here.
The main occupation of Gond tribes was.
Smart pick.
Agriculture is the correct choice. Mandau is a traditional weapon from Dash. You got it? Your choice, Dayak, is right. What river separates Texas and Oklahoma?
Well picked. Red is the correct answer.
Which tribe is known for being warlike?
Smart move. Comanche Kiowa is an accurate answer.
Akbarnama mentions which tribal kingdom?
Nice work. You chose fabricated, and it is correct.
What was the weather like in the Arctic? Correct response. Cold is the most accurate answer. Which tribe lived in cedar plank houses?
Nice selection. Kwakiel is the correct and valid answer.
What kind of homes did the Inuit create?
Well done. Igloo is the right choice.
Tribals obtained their livelihood from.
Correct. All of these is the right answer.
This region brings Utah a lot of tourism. You chose Colorado Plateau, and it is correct. Being Dash means you stay in one place.
Valid point. Sedentary is true.
Which tribe was famous for its pottery?
Right choice. Catawba is the best answer.
Which tribe would eat fruits and herbs?
Clear logic. Your choice, Pueblo, is sound and 100% true.
Which tribe was originally from Kansas?
You're right. Cheyenne is the correct answer.
What types of home did the Caddo build?
Solid response. Dome-shaped homes is a valid choice.
What is the population of Konyak tribe?
On track. 20,000 is the correct answer.
What did the Ute people use horses for?
Nicely done. Hunting buffalo is a solid answer.
The Iroquois tribe lived in present day.
Great job. New York is the accurate answer.
Kwakiel's climate is best described as.
Bravo. Rainy and mild is the answer.
What is the Navajo name for themselves?
Excellent. Dine is a brilliant choice.
What sea region did the Catawba live in?
Strong choice. Piedmont is the right answer.
Which is not connected with Gond State?
Exactly. Cal makes sense, and it is right choice.
Dome-shaped tent made from animal skins.
Bravo. Wigwam is the answer.
Carvings on rock of prehistoric nature.
Smart move. Petroglyphs is an accurate answer. Which tribe used canoes to get around? Smart pick. Current side is the correct choice. The landscape in Papua are mostly dash. Sharp thinking. Highlands is the right choice.
The tribal spiritual leader was called.
Good thinking. Shaman is the right answer.
Who covered their homes in tall grass?
You got it. Your choice help is right.
What tribe used trot lines for fishing?
Nice work. You chose Caddo and it is correct.
The Powhatan Indians lived in the dash.
Well reasoned. Eastern Woodlands is the correct choice.
Olympia is the capital of which state?
Correct response. Washington is the most accurate answer.
They were a confederation of 5 tribes.
Nicely done. Iroquois is a solid answer. Today, many Native Americans live dash. Exactly. In their traditional homeland makes sense, and it is right choice.
Name the shelter used by the Quakiel.
On track. Plank House is the correct answer.
What region is Corpus Christi located?
Great thinking. Coastal Plains is the right choice.
Which tribe would eat buffalo and elk?
Right again. Lakota is a valid answer.
This tribe lived near the Virgin River.
Well done. Parable is the right choice.
Archaeology is the study of artifacts.
Clear logic. Your choice true is sound and 100% true.
Which region was the former shoreline?
Correct. Sandhills is the right answer.
Who assumed the title of Sangram Shah?
Great job. Safe Das is the accurate answer.
All of these tribes are nomadic except.
Right choice. Caddo is the best answer.
Kiowa is to craftsmen as Jumanos is too.
Excellent. Traders is a brilliant choice.
What language do the Nez Perce speak?
Strong choice. Nose pierces is the right answer.
Kwakludi built canoes from cedar logs.
Excellent choice. West and Northwest is the right answer.
Both the Apache and the Comanche dash.
Nice selection. Where nomadic hunters is the correct and valid answer.
This region has flat land for farming.
Valid point. Great Basin region is true.
What Caddo word is Texas named after?
Perfect. Friendship is the correct choice.
Mir Jumla attacked the Ohom in dash.
Good job. Your answer 1662 works well here.
Archaic Indians later became known as?
You're right. Woodland Indians is the correct answer. This native tribe lived in a wickiup. Well picked. 5 kinds is the correct answer.
Which of these is a capital resource?
Solid response. Bow and spear is a valid choice.
Virginia is covered mostly with what? You chose forests,
And it is correct.
What tribe has a matrilineal society?
You're right. Caddo is the correct answer.
They wear necklaces and beads to dash.
Smart pick. Look attractive is the correct choice.
Archaic garbage dumps are called dash.
Clear logic. Your choice middle is sound and 100% true.
Which tribe would eat seals and fish?
Right again. Inuit is a valid answer.
Coastal tribes used dash as currency.
You got it. Your choice shells is right.
The Yamasee were ruled by a council.
Bravo. True is the answer.
Who did the Tonkawa tribe help fight?
Right choice. Comanche and Apache is the best answer.
The Comanche lived in the Dash region.
Correct response. High Plains is the most accurate answer.
Which tribe of natives was sedentary?
Valid point. Caddo is true.
Which tribe built cone-shaped houses?
Perfect. Bingan is the correct choice.
Mughal invasion to Ahoms were done by?
Great job. Mere total is the accurate answer.
The Maasai tribe was once called Dash.
Well done. Cattle wrestlers is the right choice.
Which tribe is described as peaceful?
Excellent choice. Caddo is the right answer.
Disease and warfare ended this tribe.
Strong choice. Susquehannock is the right answer.
What did the Cherokee Indians plant?
Solid response. Corn, beans, and squash is a valid choice.
What does physical environment mean?
Great thinking. Where you live is the right choice.
What is the largest region in Texas?
Well reasoned. Coastal Plains is the correct choice.
The Dash word for friend is Texas?
Sharp thinking. Caddo is the right choice.
About how many tribes are in Africa?
Well picked. 500 is the correct answer.
This tribe sailed to Cuba in canoes.
Nicely done. Calusa is a solid answer.
Most tribes wore what on their feet?
You chose moccasins, and it is correct.
The Amazon tribes use spears to dash.
Excellent. Hunt animals is a brilliant choice.
What did the Cherokee tribe not eat?
Smart move. Bacon is an accurate answer.
The Hopi tribe wore clothing made of?
Exactly. Cotton makes sense, and it is right choice.
Which tribe lived in New York State?
On track. Iroquois is the correct answer.
Who would like to work for Marvel?
Nice work. You chose Ada, and it is correct.
Who were the two prehistoric tribes?
Good job. Your answer, Anasazi and Fremont, works well here.
This tribe was known to be friendly.
Good thinking. Tonside is the right answer.
Where did the Tequesta tribe reside?
Correct. Southern Florida is the right answer.
Which region did the Jumano live in?
Nice selection. Mountains and basins is the correct and valid answer.
The important tribe of Bihar is Dash.
You got it. Your choice clean is right.
Which tribe used an adze for digging? You chose Tacobanca, and it is correct.
Corn, beans, squash was known as the smart pick. Three Sisters is the correct choice.
Name the powerful tribes from Punjab.
Nice selection. Ghakkar and Khokar is the correct and valid answer.
The Chumash built houses out of dash.
Clear logic. Your choice, Toll reads, is sound and 100% true.
Mundus and Santhals live in the areas. Bravo.
Bengal Ori is the answer.
Virginia Indians are referred to as. Great job. Eastern Woodland Indians is the accurate answer. Member of each tribes were united by. On track. Kinship bond is the correct answer. Where did the Chinook Indians live?
Excellent choice. Northwest is the right answer.
Which region can you visit El Paso?
Right again. The mountain and basins is a valid answer. Who was a famous Utah mountain man? Well done. Etan Provost is the right choice. The Mundus and Santals were lived in.
Right choice. Ori and Bengal is the best answer.
The Catawba was ruled by a council.
Good job.
Your answer true works well here. The Yokuts built dash to hunt birds. Well picked. Blinds is the correct answer. Which tribe lived in the southwest?
Valid point. Pueblo is true.
All Indian tribes lived in teepees. Exactly. False makes sense, and it is right choice. What animals did the Shoshone hunt? Smart move. All of the above is an accurate answer. Which tribe is named after tattoos? Sharp thinking. Jawamano is the right choice. What region did the Inuits live in? Great thinking. Arctic is the right choice. They believe in Tajiniat. Well reasoned. Be carried out is the correct choice. The Yurok used dash to catch salmon. Correct, Weas is the right answer. Which tribe ate whale and fish? Solid response. Inuit is a valid choice. They were also called the Delaware. Excellent. Lenape is a brilliant choice. The Dash lived in igloos sometimes. Strong choice. Inuit is the right answer. A way of life for a group of people. Correct response.
Culture is the most accurate answer.
Which tribe made cone-shaped houses?
Good thinking. Bingon is the right answer.
What animal did Paleo Indians hunt?
Perfect. Caribou is the correct choice. This native tribe lived in a hogan.
Nicely done. Navajo is a solid answer.
Quakiel's diet consisted of what? Nice work. You chose fish and berries, and it is correct. Which city is west of San Antonio? You're right. The steppe is the correct answer. The tribes migrated from Dash. Well picked. Myanmar is the correct answer. What did the Sioux primarily hunt?
You're right. Bison is the correct answer.
The climate Lakota experienced was.
You got it? Your choice. Hot summers, cold winters is right.
The fabricated deeds dash villages.
Right again. 7,000 is a valid answer.
What is California's state animal?
Perfect. Grizzly bear is the correct choice.
Where did the Pueblo Indians live?
Well done. Southwest is the right choice.
What did the tribe with skins get?
Smart move. 5 bags of rice is an accurate answer.
What Indian tribes hunted buffalo?
Good job. Your answer, Jawamano, works well here.
What made the path that they took?
Great thinking. Animals is the right choice. The Huron way of life was based on.
Great job. Kinship family is the accurate answer. Which tribe had colorful clothing?
Strong choice. Southeast is the right answer. How many tribes have we discussed?
Sharp thinking. 5 is the right choice. Most Quaker families owned slaves.
Nice work. You chose false, and it is correct.
Which tribe irrigated their crops?
Good thinking. Jawamano is the right answer.
The Inuit relied on what for food?
Bravo. Wheels, seals, fish is the answer.
Which is not true for the tribals?
Nice selection. Developed society is the correct and valid answer.
The Ahoms annexed the kingdoms of.
Solid response. Option 1 and 2 is a valid choice.
Which tribe has a warrior culture?
Clear logic. Your choice, Maasai, is sound and 100% true.
What does the word Skimo mean?
Correct response. Eater of raw meat is the most accurate answer.
What does Jawamano actually mean?
Correct. Heavily tattooed is the right answer. An open house on stilts is called. Excellent. Chickies is a brilliant choice.
What were buffalo bones used for?
Nicely done. Tools and weapons is a solid answer.
The capital city of Papua is Dash.
Well reasoned. Jayapura is the correct choice.
The Ahom state depended upon Dash.
Smart pick. Forced labor is the correct choice.
What religion do Bedouins follow?
You chose Islam, and it is correct.
Typically, men hunted while women. Valid point. Gathered is true.
Who prescribed the Varna rules?
Exactly. Brahmanas make sense, and it is right choice.
What did the Mandan Indians hunt?
Right choice. Buffalo is the best answer.
The Quakiat lived in the desert.
Excellent choice. False is the right answer.
Who were known as the Rathakuras?
On track, chariot makers is the correct answer.
Which tribe occupied plank houses?
Great thinking. Kwakiel is the right choice.
Most missions were built around. You chose rivers, and it is correct.
Which tribe gave Texas its name?
Well reasoned. Caddo is the correct choice.
Which tribe lived near Galveston? Bravo! Current side is the answer. Amelia doesn't like being alone. On track. True is the correct answer. Which tribes grew the three sisters? Clear logic. Your choice both is sound and 100% true. The dash were gods dash people. Perfect. Jews chosen is the correct choice. This region has 5 national parks. Right choice. Colorado Plateau is the best answer. The Dakota are also known as the Smart pick. Sioux is the correct choice. This tribe lived near Bear Lake. Exactly. Shoshone makes sense, and it is right choice. The best tribes in world history. Right again. Mongols is a valid answer. Who is the husband of Durgawati? Nicely done. Dalpat is a solid answer. Which tool was used for hunting? Smart move. Atlal is an accurate answer. What does the name Anasazi mean? Excellent. The Old Ones is a brilliant choice. Where did the Arctic tribe live? Solid response. North Pole is a valid choice. Apache and Comanche tribes were. Nice selection. Nomadic is the correct and valid answer. The Hopi tribe is located where? Good thinking. In present-day Arizona is the right answer. The Banjaras caravan was called? Well done. Sign is the right choice. Tribe from Papua Island is dash. Excellent choice. Dani is the right answer. What does the name Hopi mean? Good job. Your answer, the peaceful ones, works well here. Shivaji lived from dash to dash. Correct. 1627-1680 is. What region is Fort Worth, Texas? Valid point. North Central Plains is true. Lakota built lodges in villages. Strong choice. Great Plains is the right answer. A rock carving is called a dash. Great job. Petroglyph is the accurate answer. Which tribe was Sacagawea from? Correct response. Shoshone is the most accurate answer. Amish clothing styles encourage. Nice work. You chose humility, and it is correct. They are excellent metalsmiths. Well picked. Jockey is the correct answer. Where did the Inuit people live? You're right. Alaska and Canada is the correct answer. The tribes made dash with cedar. You got it? Your choice masks, clothes and baskets is right. The punk movement began in dash. Sharp thinking. USA is the right choice. Ireland has never been invaded. Well done. False is the right choice. Which tribe made dig-out canoes? Solid response. Current side is a valid choice. Which tool is used for digging? Exactly. Ads make sense, and it is right choice. Quakiatl lived in which region? Nice selection. Coastal range is the correct and valid answer. What does Taino translate to? You got it? Your choice, good men, is right.
Ngami tribe is in the state of.
Nicely done. Nagaland is a solid answer. The Dash lived in plank houses.
Bravo. Kwakiutl is the answer.
Where did the Oms migrate to?
Right choice. Brahmaputra Valley is the best answer.
What did the Iroquois live in? Valid point. Longhouses is true.
Hopi men governed the villages.
Perfect. Southwest Desert is the correct choice.
Which tribe would eat seafood?
Smart move. Kwakiutl is an accurate answer. What explorer lead the voyage? Correct. Christopher Columbus is the right answer.
What tribes lives in an adobe?
Well picked. Hopi is the correct answer.
A high, wide, and flat landform.
Excellent choice. Plateau is the right answer. The specialized artisans were. Correct response. Smiths, carpenters, masons is the most accurate answer. Verna was prescribed by Dash. Nice work. You chose Brahmins and it is correct.
Mais is another name for Dash.
Good thinking. Corn is the right answer.
Iroquois lived in which house?
Great thinking. Longhouses is the right choice. What did the Ute people trade?
Strong choice. Livestock is the right answer.
Relating to society and people.
On track. Social is the correct answer.
What is the Utah State insect?
Smart pick. Honeybee is the correct choice.
The Pueblo built plank houses?
Well reasoned. False is the correct choice.
Which tribe hunted alligator?
You're right. Current side is the correct answer.
What is the Utah State emblem?
Clear logic. Your choice. The beehive is sound and 100% true.
The Haudenosaunee people are.
Excellent. Settled farmers is a brilliant choice.
The earliest Texans were Dash.
Good job. Your answer hunter-gatherers works well here.
Most tribes in California ate.
Right again. Acorns is a valid answer.
What does Paleo-Indians mean?
Sharp thinking. Old or early is the right choice.
What are the three sisters? You chose corns, beans, squash, and it is correct.
In Gon States, Chorasi means.
Great job. Unit of 84 villages is the accurate answer.
Which is not properly matched.
Valid point. Gone Northwest India is true.
Which tribe lives in Florida?
Bravo. Seminole is the answer.
Which tribe lived in wigwams?
You chose Attapans. And it is correct.
The Pueblo Indians lived in.
Exactly. Pueblos make sense and it is right choice.
The Cherokee tribe spoke there.
Good thinking. Iroquoian language is the right answer.
Samboa tribe come from Dash.
Right again. West Nusa Tenggara is a valid answer.
Who started the colonialism?
Sharp thinking.
None of these is the right choice.
Which tribe lived in teepees? On track. Blackfoot is the correct answer. Lake Toba is located in dash. Correct response. North Sumatra is the most accurate answer. Where is Konyak tribe found? Great thinking. Nagaland is the right choice.
Corn, squash, and pole beans.
Smart pick. Three Sisters is the correct choice. Who was the son of Amandas? Great job. Dalpat is the accurate answer. The Powhatan tribe spoke the... You're right. Algonquian language is the correct answer. Who did most of the hunting? Perfect. The men is the correct choice. What didn't the tribe have? Correct. Money is the right answer. The equator is dash degrees.
Clear logic. Your choice 0 is sound and 100% true.
The dash lived in a desert. Well done. Pueblo is the right choice. What did the Mayans invent? Well picked. A calendar is the correct answer. Who defeated Oms in 1662? Right choice. Mughals is the best answer. Which tribe would eat deer? Nicely done. Iroquois is a solid answer. What does prehistory mean? Nice selection. Before written record is the correct and valid answer. What does governance mean? Good job. Your answer rules and laws works well here. Vloggers are interested in strong choice. Fashion is the right answer. They collect fruit to dash. Solid response. Eat is a valid choice. William Penn was a Quaker. Excellent choice. True is the right answer. Skaters are interesting in
Smart move. Having fun together is an accurate answer.
which is used for fishing. Well reasoned. Where is the correct choice? The Algonquian people are. Nice work. You chose hunters and gatherers, and it is correct. Lines of longitude measure. Excellent. East or west is a brilliant choice. What is a pile of shells? You got it. Your choice, Midden, is right. Who were the three fires? Right choice. Odawa, Odawa, Potawatomi is the best answer. What band were fishermen? Great thinking. Ojibwe is the right choice. Objects found in the past. Right again. Artifacts is a valid answer. What would hunters trade? Exactly. Animal skins make sense and it is right choice. The Seminole tribe hunted. Good thinking. Wild game and turkey is the right answer. Which tribe made pottery? Valid point. Caddo is true. Name of the Gond Kingdom. You chose fabricated, and it is correct. To stay in one place is strong choice. Sedentary is the right answer. Where did the Cree live? Smart move. Canada is an accurate answer. Which tribe ate buffalo? Nicely done. Lakota is a solid answer.
Koka tribes lived in. Well done. Peasants is the right choice. Which tribe was nomadic? Well picked. Western Plains is the correct answer. The Inuit tribe gathered.
Sharp thinking. Nuts and salmon is the right choice. They plant seeds to dash.
Nice work. You chose grow vegetables and it is correct. Which tribe was farmers?
Excellent choice. Caddo is the right answer.
Cheros were defeated by.
You're right. Kingman Singh is the correct answer.
The dugout canoe helped.
Good job. Your answer. The Karankawa fish works well here.
Who are the patriarchs?
Solid response. Abraham, Isaac, Jacob is a valid choice. What does culture mean? Correct response. Way of life is the most accurate answer.
The Inuit hunted seals.
Bravo. True is the answer.
Name of Akbar's general.
Excellent. Kingman Singh is a brilliant choice.
They build huts to dash.
Well reasoned. Live in is the correct choice.
What city is Odessa in?
Perfect. GP is the correct choice.
They boy plants to dash.
Great job. Make medicine is the accurate answer.
Ada likes being trendy.
Clear logic. Your choice false is sound and 100% true. Blackfoot lived in the. Smart pick. Northern Plains is the correct choice.
Remaining in one place?
Nice selection. Sedentary is the correct and valid answer.
Relating to government?
You got it. Your choice, political, is right.
The 3 Gs are dash.
On track. God, gold, glory is the correct answer.
Chief of Gakars was.
Correct. Kamal Khan is the right answer.
Capital of Odisha is.
Solid response. Bhubaneswar is a valid choice.
Khan state was called. Nicely done. Garkatanga is a solid answer. Where is Taos Pueblo?
Great job. New Mexico is the accurate answer.
The Kukin were Mads.
Excellent choice. False is the right answer.
The Inuit grew crops.
Smart move. False is an accurate answer. The name Six means. Bravo. Snake is the answer. Gothic appeared dash. Excellent. After punk movement is a brilliant choice.
Son of Sangram Shah.
You're right. Dalpat is the correct answer.
Apaches ate a lot of. Smart pick. Corn is the correct choice. The Navajo lived in.
Nice work. You chose Hogan's, and it is correct.
The Potawatomi were.
Great thinking. Farmers is the right choice.
They light fires too.
Well picked. Keep warm is the correct answer.
Who was Bernarain?
You chose son of Rani Durgavati. And it is correct. They are animists. Clear logic. Your choice, Kalagagan, is sound and 100% true. The Huron lived in. On track. Longhouses is the correct answer. A bowl-shaped area. Sharp thinking. Basin is the right choice. What is a shaman? Well done. A religious leader is the right choice. Prehistoric means. Good job. Your answer before written records works well here. Who was Durgavati? Valid point. Gund Queen is true. What is culture? Strong choice. How people lived is the right answer. What is Baranges? You got it. Your choice Ahom history is right. Tribes of Assam. Well reasoned. Ahoms is the correct choice. Who were Pakes? Correct. Forced labor is the right answer. Blackfoot speak. Right choice. Algonquian is the best answer. Apache lived in. Exactly. Southwest makes sense and it is right choice. What is adobe? Right again. Clay is a valid answer. Sioux lived in. Perfect. Teepees is the correct choice. Osage lived in. Correct response. Missouri is the most accurate answer. What is Cal? Nice selection. Ahom clan is the correct and valid answer. Oramin? Good thinking. Trade is the right answer. How you will get all these quiz questions in PDF books format? Sharp thinking. Contact Narayan Changder on Facebook is the right choice.